With the 4th pick, the New Orleans Hornets select Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, I believe, is going to be sensational.
Paul for the win!
I just want to win. It's almost a gift and a curse about me.
Another clutch shot for Chris Paul. Yet again, taking over.
All these years of playing, the game don't change with so much, so to go out and hoop.
Chris Paul continues to amaze, baby.
As for me personally, my eyes on the top. Already told him to save me a spot. Now watch me.
Mr. Spears, do you happen to know how many times CP3 has changed teams, started a new season in his 21-year career with a new team?
5.
8.
Wow.
Yeah, this is going to be number 8 for CP. Although this is a little bit more, this is a little more of a homecoming, right? Each of the previous 7 teams, they all saw an increase in their win percentage in CP3's first season. They call it the CP effect. I had an exclusive conversation with him yesterday. We spoke about his return to LA for year 21. We begin our show with breaking news this morning. Chris Paul coming back to the Los Angeles Clippers.
We get a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Shared history that these two sides have together.
He got it! 1 second left! Clippers by 2!
Chris, you're home. This is where you played for 6 seasons.
Yeah.
You call Los Angeles home. How does it feel?
Man, it feels great. It feels amazing. You know, I sort of tried to speak this into existence a while ago, and you sort of just, you play, you hoop or whatnot, but feeling of gratitude, just happy to be here.
It's a physical game. Oh,
A monster jam by Blake Griffin!
A whole lot has changed since the last time you were here. And I think one of the things that maybe encapsulates just how much has changed is it's little Chris.
He made make the Blake face. Blake made this little face. And,
look that way and do the Blake face.
Blake face.
Doing the Blake face, and now he's dunking and just about to look at
Trying to dunk. Life looked a lot different then. Still remember when I came in 2011, as well as I remember leaving. So I got a chance to grow up here. And after I left Houston, in the last 6 years that I've lived in these cities on my own, my family's been here. Yeah, so always been connected to the city.
You've said this in so many words, but I just want to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
Is this 2025, 2026 season your last?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I think throughout this season, at some point, guys that I know who've retired and all this different type of stuff, you know, more than anything this season, I will definitely enjoy it. I don't take this for granted. I don't.
21 seasons in the NBA, the most by a point guard ever. Did you ever think that you would play this long in the NBA?
Only way that I can sort of remember it is by seeing the people around me. And I think that's what gets me emotional at times is I was just at home in North Carolina and I got a chance to see my uncles and my aunts, my grandparents. They watch every game every night. And I still remember when I came to the Clippers, games would be at 7. I think they're at 7:30 now. That's a 10:30 start for my granny. But she's gonna be up watching every game, texting and calling me after every game. And that's why you do this. It's because of the support.
Put it on the highlight reel! Wow, what a play by Harden!
You're also joining a formidable Los Angeles Clippers team.
I think for me, it was about contending. I talked to Y, talked to JH. You know, whatever I can do to help us win, I'll do it.
Second all-time in steals, second all-time in assists, every accolade that you can imagine, except for one, a title. How much does that mean to you at this point in your career?
That's the goal. But at the same time, I do understand that everyone doesn't get an opportunity to play this long. I'll be taking every moment in this season, you know what I mean, and making sure that I'm doing whatever I can to help our team win.
Chris Paul isn't the only great player throughout NBA history to return to a familiar place. Dame Lillard did it this summer, and then after spending his first 2 seasons with the Suns and the next 6 with the Mavs, Steve Nash returned to Phoenix in 2004. He led the team to consecutive Western Conference Finals before becoming the first point guard to win consecutive MVPs since Magic. And then Jason Kidd traded away from Dallas less than 3 years after being the second overall pick in '94. And then he returned in '08, eventually helped the team to win its first ever title in 2011, started every playoff game that year, and now he coaches there. And then after 3 titles with the Heat, Dwayne Wade went to Chicago in 2016. Cleveland, you covered that team, Dave, in 2017 before returning to Miami for his last season, which included that circus shot buzzer beater against Golden State in February and a 25-point triple-double in the final game of his career. That's a heck of a way to go out. And then, of course, LeBron James. He took his talents to South Beach, returned to the Cavaliers after this ceremonious jersey burning, and then led Cleveland to its only NBA title with an unprecedented 3-1 comeback in the 2016 finals against that historic Golden State Warriors team with LeBron as the finals MVP. And that brings us to Chris Paul, returning as the Clippers' all-time leader in all NBA selections, in assists per game, second in steals, points scored, he's up there in the playoffs. But speaking of CP, our friend Kendrick Perkins, he had some thoughts on where Chris ranks in terms of point guards. Here's what he had to say.
CP3 is the top 15 greatest point guard of all time. I do not have him in my top 10. I do not have him in my top 10. I don't have CP3 ranked above Russell Westbrook. Like, did CP3 do a lot of things, change the franchise, win a lot of games and things? Yes, absolutely. I would never take that away from him.
If you want more Kendrick Perkins, there's a 27-minute road trip in of Kendrick Perkins, no commercial breaks and no breaks, period. But Perk, I'm going to give you a chance to explain yourself here, sir, because I cannot get on board with this one, my friend.
Well, what is it to explain when you talk about the all-time greats, right? I mean, it's a toss-up if you want to throw in John Stockton when it comes down to all-time point guards, right? I think you got to have some type of, of validation to get in the top 10, right? In my top 10, I have John Stockton, I have Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Steph Curry, right? Bob Cousy. And when you look at 9 out of these 10, they either have a championship or they have multiple MVPs or MVP, except for John Stockton, but he's the all-time leader in assists. So I couldn't put CP3 above him, but CP3 is in my top 15. I think he's in that range of when you talk about a guy like Chauncey Billups, who just went to the Hall of Fame. When you look at a guy like Rajon Rondo, who might be knocking at the door of being in the Hall of Fame, that's why I put CP3 at.
Dave, Mark?
I mean, listen, there's only one guy that you mentioned that had more All-NBA selections than Chris Paul, and that's Bob Cousy. As you also alluded to, number 2 all-time in assists, number 2 all-time in steals. And listen, this isn't any shade at any other guys we'd take off the list, but Chris Paul, he has to be stamped as a top 10 point guard. It's Perk, I mean, when you think about point guard and the responsibilities of that player, organizing the offense, being a consistent voice, being a leader, having the ability to not only score himself but set up for others, play point of attack defense. He's one of the best guys when it comes to steals in NBA history. That is Chris Paul to a T, and being an extension of the coach on the floor. I mean, he has to be a top 10 point guard. I'm sorry.
No, so Chris is pound for pound. He's not the tallest guy in the world either. So you got to keep that in mind. He doesn't have Jason Kidd or Magic's height and size. But being second all time, Perk, I love you, my dog. Second all time in assists and steals.
Yeah.
That's both ends of the court.
Yep.
So I think that I'll move Cousy out of there. I know you're a Boston guy. I get that. I'm gonna move. Cousy only played against 7 other teams. I'm gonna move him out. Russ, I know he was your teammate. Respect, but I got Chris in my top 10.
Perk, last word on this.
But I thought championships matter, and I thought MVPs matter. Right? And when you look at my list, obviously you have Isaiah Thomas, who was playing in the era and won championships when he was competing against Bird, Magic, and Michael Jordan. Oscar Robertson, name speaks for itself. Russell Westbrook, a guy that averaged 4 triple-doubles, had 4 triple-double seasons throughout his career with a MVP. So, I mean, look, he's top 15 in my eyes, but it's your preference. Some people like to drink gin, some people like to drink Ciroc.
Yeah, Perk.
Some people like to drink tequila. They all get you drunk.
I'm on fire. The city, yeah, I'm